What is good, guys? What is good? I just saw the news. Jackson Smith and Jigba, $168 million, 4 years, $120 million guaranteed. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. Like, that's a lot of money. And I'm sure the initial belief is like, oh, they overpaid JSN. And I don't really know if I'd go quite that far. But yeah, I do think the wide receiver market's kind of getting a little bit crazy. Do I think it's getting crazy to the point where I'm like, they shouldn't be paying him that much? I'm like, nah, I'm not quite there. And I do understand. You pay a wide receiver that much, you pay a lot of players a lot of money. I understand it. The initial belief is like, oh, well, it's going to cap the team. And that's just not the way I feel that with Jackson Smith and Jigba in this extension. I just don't, man. I feel like there's multiple ways you can look at it. But I mean, you know, hell, even when I got to go back a little bit. I remember when Tyreek Hill ended up getting traded from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins ended up giving him a $120 million deal. I thought that was insane at the time. I did, right? And then we get years down the line, Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk. Some of these guys are getting paid a lot of money, $120 million deals. Obviously, I think CeeDee Lamb's was a little bit more, though. I think his was like 138 million, 4 years, something like that. So the wide receiver market's getting a little litty. Like, wide receivers are highly elevated right now. People are paying them a lot of money. And, you know, I'm sure it's one of those things where people will be like, oh, you could just get a wide receiver. It's like, I mean, yeah, I guess, but there's some franchises that literally struggle with drafting good wide receivers. So I look at Seattle right now. They end up signing Jackson Smith and Jigba to a 4-year, $168 million deal. They retained Rashid Shaheed. They signed him back. They're paying wide receivers. They're paying their wide receivers. I'm stunned that they actually kept Shaheed over Kenneth Walker. But Seattle is one of those franchises with Schneider where, like, they're not afraid to move off of people. Like, they'll literally just let go of players, right? They know how to move around the cap. They know how to make it work. So people thinking that this will cripple Seattle, I'm like, you have to remember that their GM knows what the hell he's doing. Like, he's been there, done that. He's paid players, hasn't paid players, let people walk. And so I look at JSN, and yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But let's not act like every single team has $100 million wide receiver. They don't. Not every team has a top wide receiver. It's just the way it is. It's at every single position. You look at that in the NFL. Top edge rusher, a top defensive tackle, anything in the trenches, tackle, guard, center. And I know tackles get paid a lot more on the offensive line, right? But that's my thing with these big contracts. With quarterbacks, obviously, quarterbacks get paid a lot. We all know that. That's the one position where you're just expected. Even backups, they could just be sitting in the league forever, and they're going to get paid. But as in terms of wide receivers, I'm like, there's literally teams that are struggling at the wide receiver position. Like, hell, they'll have one good wide receiver, and then the wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, they're just solid mid players, but everybody else can tell it's obviously a hole on the team. So with JSN in that, I'm like, dude, he's one of those guys. He's just one of those guys that is top 5 in the league. And when I was talking about the contracts earlier, I forgot to talk about Jamar Chase. But obviously, Jamar Chase got paid a lot too. And dude, how much did Jamar Chase get paid? Let's look at that right now. Let me see. Jamar Chase contract. Because I know he got paid too. Along with T. Oh, yeah, dude. I mean, his is also hella money. 161 million, 112 million guaranteed. That's not that far off too. So, you know, they obviously view Jackson Smith and Jigba as a top wide receiver in the league, rightfully so. He just went literally nuclear this past season. But that's my holdup. That's my pushback. So I understand people saying they overpaid, it's going to cripple them. I'm like, I don't think it will entirely cripple them. Yes, they're going to need to move money around. They're going to need to try to keep that defense somewhat intact, right? Because you can't keep everybody. But I don't think it will entirely cripple the Seattle Seahawks. I've even seen it with the Philadelphia Eagles, dude. Like, they paid players on offense and defense. I've seen them let go of really good defensive players. Like that year we won the Super Bowl, they let go of Milton Williams. Milton Williams ended up getting paid. He was a top he was a top defensive tackle. Josh Sweat, he went to the Arizona Cardinals. He was a top edge rusher. Like, sometimes you just have to let go of guys, and Seattle's not afraid to do that. So do I think this is going to cripple them? Do I think this is going to keep them, hold them back from being a contender? Absolutely not. Does it make it more difficult with the contract that is a lot of money like JSN? Absolutely, because you look at their defense, there's going to be some contracts coming up soon, and they're going to have to pay guys. But the way I look at it, it's not like every single team is star-studded at every single position. The money gets spread out. It does, and the cap just keeps raising in the NFL. I don't know why people are like forgetting that. So like, I'm sure some people are going to be like, he's overpaid, but I'm like, they only got so many stars in Seattle. Literally, it's like Kenneth Walker left, Charbonnet literally got hurt, right? At the tight end position, their tight end's solid. Like Rashid Shaheed, he was kind of like, I'm shocked they, like I said, I'm shocked they signed him, because he was just kind of after the trade from the New Orleans Saints, and it was like, hasn't quite molded yet, but he's really good on, you know, some deep routes, fly sweeps, obviously. In what does he do, kick return and punt return? Yeah, so he's like literally just like broken, right, as a returner and shit. But I'm like, they haven't fully unlocked him at wide receiver, and so JSN is like the guy for the Seattle Seahawks. And you got to have a guy. You get rid of JSN, I can only imagine what the freaking Seattle Seahawks offense would be like. Like, they just wouldn't be good, in my opinion. You watched them this last year. They had some duds even through the Super Bowl run in the regular season. And I'm like, bro, you got to pay JSN. You got to pay him. Was it a lot of money? Yeah. But I mean, with Jamar Chase getting paid what he did, being the top wide receiver at the time, yeah, bro, it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy with some of these guys. But like I said, not every single team has a star player at set position. So yeah, there's going to be big contracts on NFL teams. It's going to happen. It's going to continue to happen. These contracts are going to continue to get more wild, straight up. It's just how it's going to happen. But I don't know, man. It'll be interesting because, you know, George Pickens has got to get paid. And you know, the thing with George, he's on a franchise tag. Cowboy, we're hearing talk that he's gonna like hold out during the season. He's not gonna show up to training camp. Just stuff I've seen on the internet. I don't know how much like truth is behind that, right? But if this just raises the price for George Pickens, so I don't think the Cowboys are gonna keep George Pickens. I think they're gonna trade him. Like, you're not gonna be paying CeeDee Lamb and paying George Pickens around the same type of money. I just don't see it, because this contract from JSN just raises the price. And then you look at a guy like Puka Nacua, who's going into his 4th year. I'm sure the Rams are pretty good at just like getting contracts done, and I'm sure they're gonna pay Puka Nacua. I wouldn't be shocked if they paid Puka Nacua this offseason and they just get it done and there's really no drama, because the Rams are one of those teams that they just kind of just sign their guys and there's really no drama. I mean, look at it. They traded for McDuffie. They signed McDuffie right away. I'm pretty sure they did the same thing with Jalen Ramsey, if I remember right. I swear they did. I could be wrong on that. Fact check me on that. But yeah, bro. I mean, look, if you looked at the Rams in the last little bit, it didn't entirely cripple their team. Like, yeah, obviously they gave up a lot of draft picks and shit, but they just kept signing free agents. They've still been relevant. It didn't cripple them. There's multiple teams with multiple big contracts. It hasn't crippled them. But for whatever reason, the Cincinnati Bengals, aside from everybody else, I don't know. I don't even think it's just the contracts. I think they just haven't drafted good on their defensive side. So am I concerned about Seattle after them signing JSN to this contract? Not really, because Schneider, I know how good we all know how good of a GM Schneider is. So I don't really get why people are so concerned about that. But we'll have to see. I could entirely be wrong. I could be wrong. And these big contracts on teams with wide receivers, hell, down the line, maybe it could be crippling. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. I think the shit gets spread out too much. But I don't know, man. You guys let me know what you guys think. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, your boy. All we do is talk football. So come by with your boy. Anyways, guys, appreciate you watching. It's your boy Shady Luke, and I'm outie. Deuces.